Hello, softball fans, and welcome to this latest edition of Around the Horn. My name is Matt East, and I'm your host, as well as the president of the Georgia Dugout Club. And I want to just say thank you for tuning in. Today, we have a great interview set up for you. We have Bailey Holland from Vidalia High School, as well as Coach Ben Beck. They're preparing for the state playoffs and having a successful season so far. And we just wanted to sit down and talk with them about how things are going there at Vidalia High School. So, Bailey, Coach Beck, hope you're ready. Let's head to first base. Bailey, we wanted to know, you've had some success this year down at Vidalia, and you're continuing to advance into the state playoffs. We wanted to know, when did you think that you had a successful team and was going to have a great year, or the possibilities of having a great year down there at Vidalia?
I don't think there was a specific moment that I realized it, but it's kind of been all season since the summer, just seeing how, everybody on the team is just as happy for their teammates' success as they are for their own. I can really see that, and just the family that we've built, I know is going to cause us to be successful.
Well, that's great. And coming off of that, Bailey, I mean, you said you worked out during the summer. How important, I know some high schools work out during the summer and some don't. Do you feel like that helps you guys out, get prepared for the season?
Yes, sir, I do. I think it helps us kind of just get together more and just become a family before the season really even starts, so we're able to become closer.
And Coach Beck, how long ago did that start there at Vidalia? Have y'all been doing that for a couple of years now?
Yeah, we've been doing it as long as I've been a part of Vidalia, and that goes back almost 12 years. And to the girls' credit, they really buy into the summer program, and we don't really have any kind of attendance issues. A lot of them do play travel ball, but they usually kind of keep that on the weekends, and so that we really have the majority of the weeks all summer to really, like Bailey said, come together as a family and work hard, and really it's all about the girls buying in, and they really do buy into it, and it's really what I think keeps our program as successful as it is.
Well, that's great, Bailey. Now, it gets hot down there in South Georgia, am I right? I mean,
yes, sir, it does.
It makes you a little tough, too, I'm assuming, right?
Yes, sir.
Thanks, Bailey. Thank Coach Beck. Let's move on to second base now as we get a little bit closer to going around the horn. We're in the second year, Bailey, of going through a pandemic in the middle of our softball season. How do you guys handle it? Tell us from a player's perspective, what are some things that you have to deal with, and maybe some ways that you and your teammates are handling playing for the second year in the middle of our COVID-19 pandemic?
I think it's made us better because we've had a few weeks where we've had some players out, some starters, but it's helped other girls get chances to be in and just made our program stronger. And for me individually, it just helps me play even harder because I never know when it could be taken away from me.
Oh, that's great. That is true. You never know. We found out a lot about some other sports. You never know if they're going to cancel or if you're going to put on hold. Now, Coach Beck, on a day in and day out, do you guys have special protocols? I know. I'm sure you guys do some things different, but have you guys had success with a few protocols?
We have, and we've had protocols that really we started last year, and to kind of go back to last year, we were really lucky because I think the pandemic last year didn't affect the kids as much as we thought it would, and then this year with this new variant, the kids were really a lot more affected. And so the protocols that we set in last year really helped us a lot. This year, everybody was kind of used to it. So when we asked everybody to put on masks on the bus, it wasn't something new. They were aware of that. And then just kind of the day in and day out things that we asked them to do just for safety are things that aren't really a shock to the system. They were used to it last year. And so with it carrying over this year, we were able to just kind of hit it in stride.
That's right. Now, Bailey, has COVID been a problem this year, or has the rain been a problem this year for you?
A little bit of both. We've had a few games canceled because of COVID and a few canceled because of rain. It just has been kind of both.
I got you. All right. Well, thanks a lot, Bailey. I know keep strong during this pandemic times, and Coach Beck, keep working. I know you guys are doing a great job down there.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Told you I was hoping for a great episode, and I think we're getting one from Bailey and Coach Beck there at Vidalia. Thank you so much for the answer so far. Hey, guys, we're only halfway through, so we're at scoring position. We got to get to third base and then eventually cross on plate here around the horn. But before we get to third base, Bailey and Coach Beck, we're going to stop for a quick break, and we're going to hear from Coach Brooks Youngblood at Lambert High School about the Georgia Dugout Club's All-State game and nominations that are due October the 23rd.
Hey, this is Brooks Youngblood from Lambert High School. Just sending a little message here to ask you to nominate your seniors, please, for the Georgia Dugout Club Senior All-State event. You can do that at the Georgia Dugout Club website. I think it's gadcsoftball.com. You can find the nominations there. Nominations are open until October 23rd for the event, which will be November the 13th. It's a great time for the girls. It's a great opportunity for them, and they love every second of it. I've been fortunate to be part of it for a couple years and see how awesome it is. And again, we're at Buford High School November 13th. Nominations are open until October 23rd. So don't forget to get those nominations in. You do not have to be a member of the Dugout Club to nominate, but if your player does get selected, then you have to become a member for them to participate, but it is absolutely worth it. Thanks for listening. Get those nominations in.
Welcome back to Around the Horn as we're sitting down with Bailey Holland from Vidalia High School, as well as the head coach of Vidalia High School softball, Coach Ben Beck. Bailey, we're at scoring position now. Let's move on to third base. We wanted to know, Vidalia High School, it's in South Georgia, away from the metro Atlanta area. We wanted to give you an opportunity to tell us what is great about Vidalia, the city, and the high school, and in your softball program. What do other people need to know there about Vidalia High School softball?
Well, I know I moved here 2 years ago from a different school, and I just didn't realize how great the Indian pride and the culture was at Vidalia. Not like how I said about the family. It's just really it is a family atmosphere, and the support we get from the community and our fans. Like if you go to any one of our games, you're going to see a ton of fans, and it's just great the amount of support we get.
And I'm sure they travel with you, right, Coach Beck? I mean, I know down at Columbus when you guys made it down there, they always bring a really good crowd to support the young ladies.
Absolutely. The community, I think, is really what kind of sets us apart. The buy-in from everybody, from administration on down, through the coaching staff, and then spreads out into the community. It's that support and that buy-in on Vidalia softball and Vidalia athletics in general, I think, is what keeps our programs, our athletic department, with the success that it has. And they travel well, and they'll, any kind of fundraiser we have, we never have issues with any of that. And it's just really what kind of sets us apart, I think, and kind of makes our program what I believe is the gold standard here in South Georgia.
And to be honest with you, you probably get that more because of the small school and the small town atmosphere versus being a bigger school, maybe not tied to a community. Bailey, I mean, it like you said, it's that community spirit. Am I right?
Yes, sir, it is.
Coach Beck, how do you feel sometime like a celebrity walking through town with that V on your chest there?
Well, yeah, and I tell you, walking around with my 9-year-old daughter, it doesn't matter where we go. I always run into somebody who wants to talk about softball, and so she always kids around me. Everywhere we go, you know everybody. How do you know everybody? And it's because of that. The community is so bought into everything, and they support us so well. It's it does. It's we talk about Indian pride, and it saturates this whole area, and it's something that we're very proud of.
All right, Bailey and Coach Beck, we're at third base. Now let's head home. Last question. Hopefully the questions haven't been too bad, Bailey. All right, so now that we're at third base, we'd like to know, let's take us into that locker room, Bailey. You're getting ready to play some big, important games here in the state tournament, and we want to know, how do you guys there at Vidalia High School and the softball team get ready as a team before some of these big games? Now, Coach Beck sitting right there. I know that you don't want to be 100% honest, maybe, but don't worry about it. Treat it as like if he's not there, and tell us, how do you guys get prepared? What do you guys do to get ready to be successful on the field?
I think we're trying to be focused, but also laid back, just to try to not make the moment bigger than it is, because that helps us. Because if we make the moment bigger, then we just all kind of get nervous. So we just try to keep it treated as like any other day, really, and just be focused on the task at hand.
Well, that's good. And we were talking to Olivia Cato from Northgate about some of these same things, and she said music focused her, and we had a laugh because I had no clue who Little Baby was or somebody like that. I mean, what tunes have you got playing in the background?
We got a little bit of everything, like pretty much a new playlist every bus ride, or like some days we listen to 80s music, some days it's country music, some days it's rap music.
All right, Coach Beck, is that your playlist that they're listening to, or?
We, myself and the coaching staff, we have our favorites whenever they start playing. And sometimes if you look at the front of the bus, we're bouncing our head a little bit to some of the music. But we don't want to date ourselves as far as which type of music we like. But they do a good job of staying focused, but at the same time staying loose. And I think Bailey hit the nail on the head. We kind of approach it as this isn't a special game. This is just the next game, and every game is important. And if we have that kind of mentality, that next game, next pitch, then I think that kind of keeps us grounded and keeps us in the moment. And so we are where our feet are, and we don't get too high or too low based on what's going on.
Well, yeah, and you can tell that's helped you guys be successful, and that's for sure. So that you obviously got it ingrained in them, and they're following through on that.
Yes, sir.
All right, now, Coach Beck, I know we've made it to home plate, but with you here today, we're going to go into extra innings a little bit, and I got a quick question to ask you. The Georgia High School Association is going to go through some realignment here, and maybe after this episode has already aired, they've already gone through their realignment process. But can you talk to us as the Georgia Dugout Club and as a softball community here in the state? How do you guys at a small school like Vidalia, or just how do you as a high school softball coach think that Georgia High School needs to do? What do you think they need to do? What are your thoughts just about the realignment? How do they handle that? Just would like to get your thoughts a little bit on the Georgia High School Association's realignment plans for this upcoming 2022-23 and maybe going forwards realignment process for our high schools.
Well, it's one of those things. Every time it comes up, you'll have people you'll have detractors and you'll have supporters. I don't think GHSA is ever going to have 100% support on anything that they do. But I understand the difficulty in that reclassification, and there's no perfect way to do it. As a public school in AA, I can see the need to get some of the private schools separated from us, and that's been one of our concerns as far as a athletic department here. Just as far as fairness goes, and we think that some of the private schools can just kind of have an advantage over some public schools.
Right.
But at the same time, we think that, like I said, there's no really perfect way to do it, but we have our concerns about, we might be bumped up. We've always been a AA school. We've always kind of been at that higher level of AA. I think they've talked about using a 2.5 multiplier. I think with that, we might get bumped up to AAA. We have in the past been able to win our appeals on any kind of move based on where Vidalia is. Our city limits reside in 2 different counties. So,
Right.
I think that, from our standpoint, we'd like to stay in AA. Again, there's going to be pros and cons to any kind of plan that GHSA comes up with, and I don't think there's really a perfect way to do it.
Right, because and it's hard for GHSA to have not generic rules, but specific rules to classifications, and it affect 7A and schools with 5,000, 6,000 students versus schools with 3 and 4 and 500 students in an equal part.
You're exactly right. And I think that's one of the good things that GHSA does with that appeals process is it allows them to look at schools, whereas they can lay out these kind of general guidelines to where classification may put you. They do have that appeals process, and I give them credit for that, to hear schools on an individual basis and then make a ruling based on that individual school, instead of just kind of throwing out some kind of blanket rule out there and saying this is where you're going to play and that's the end of it. I really do like that they have that appeals process that allows schools like us to come and say, this is, we're a city school, and a lot of these rules may be aimed at private and city schools, but the city school in Vidalia might not be the same as a city school, say, in Beaufort or some of these other larger places.
Right. Now, Bailey, does all this stuff goes on behind the scenes? Do you guys even know about it or think about it as a player?
Not at all.
Not at all. So it seems like a big deal to us as coaches and to the Dugout Club members, but to you guys, softball, am I right?
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, Coach Beck, maybe we need to take a playbook page out of that playbook and not lose too much sleep over some of this realignment.
Yeah, you're exactly right. A lot of times we think the girls have so much to learn from us. Maybe there's some things we can learn from them sometimes.
That's exactly right. Again, thank you, Coach Beck and Bailey, for sitting down with us in the middle of your season and talking to us about Vidalia High School softball and all the great things going on there. This is a wrap for this latest episode of Around the Horn. Congratulations to all the teams that are continuing to play. I know that it's an exciting time for us as high school softball players and coaches in the state. I just want to tell you, continue the hard work, and best of luck and best wishes to everyone still playing. If you're not playing, or even if you are, remember, we've got until October the 23rd to get in your nominations for the Senior All-State game there up at Beaufort High School on November the 13th. Please visit our Georgia Dugout Club website at gadcsoftball.com to nominate today. Thanks so much for tuning in, and until next time, my name is Matt East, and I'll see you around the horn.